Welcome back to another episode here on YouTube with the one and only Z Vertigo. I don't know why I get so excited when I say that. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I've been getting so many questions as to, Shad, where do I store my equipment? Whether that be during season or off season. All right, and there's several places that you can keep it. All right, but I wanted to start off with this right here. All right, one of my mentees in my last class, he said, hey, Shad, I'm here in Miami. There are a lot of marinas here, but the prices are ridiculous. It's crazy. But I've actually found somebody who's actually willing to rent out their dock in the back of their house. What do you think about that? And I told him it's a great idea. I'm certain it's way cheaper than what you'll be paying at a marina. Just make sure that you have security, whether that be an actual person who comes out and watch your boat when you're not there. That'd probably be expensive. Or you come up with some type of agreement with the actual homeowner. Maybe they'll let you put cameras or something where you can watch it 24/7. But just make sure there's some sort of security around that. All right, but as you can see here, these people here are only charging $400 per slip. There's 2 slips here, so that's a damn good price. I know for me, we charge about $400 per hour on our boat. So I'll actually be able, if I was to get a slip like this, I'll be able to pay that thing off a 1 hour rental for my boats. All right, but moving right along, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we'll be talking about where to store our equipment, whether it's during season or off season. All right, and one of the first places that I will point you to would be a floating dock. All right, during season, you definitely should be keeping your jet skis. All right, keep your jet skis on floating docks. And what does that look like, Shad? I got you. All right, this is a floating dock. All right, this is exactly what it looks like. This is a GTI Sea-Doo. These floats, they vary anywhere from a couple of $100 all the way into the thousands, depending on if it's brand new or not. All right, and then your boats. All right, believe it or not, you can actually put a boat on a floating dock. All right, now it does depend on the size, and it's normally a smaller boat that you'll see on floating docks. I've never actually seen a big boat on a floating dock. All right, but this is an example here. This is a Sea-Doo Switch. It doesn't weigh too much. It's not too long, so it fits up on here pretty good. All right, the next will be a wet slip. All right, wet slips are at your marinas. Okay, wet slips are at a marina. You can do your local Google search as far as your slips. Now, when it comes down to your boat slips or a wet slip, it depends on where you're located at, but there are actually some marinas where you can actually pay for the entire slip. Like, you can buy it. And then there's those that do quarterly or monthly payments. I know for mine, we have to pay one location, we pay monthly, the other location we pay for the entire season. But you can actually buy your own wet slip as well at a marina. All right, but that's what a wet slip is. All right, and then of course off season, or if you need to do some maintenance or something like that, you can keep your boats or jet skis on land. I've never seen a jet ski on stilts, but of course you can put them on stilts or stands. All right, for those of you that don't know what that looks like, here you are. Here's a perfect example of a boat that's on stilts. All right, or stands, whatever you want to call it. All right, and then of course you can keep your boat or jet skis on a trailer. All right, and just so you can see what that looks like, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and last but not least, you have your boat lift. All right, now these come in many variations. All right, whether it's at a home on a boat lift, or if you're using another facility. All right, now some facilities, they take the forklift, they'll lift your boat off of the water, they'll put it on the inside storage or outside storage, whatever the facility facilitates. Or you actually have marinas that actually put your boats on lifts as well. All right, so this is pretty dope. All right, I hope you guys kind of get an idea of where you can store your equipment, whether it's in season or off season. Just keep in mind that the longer your boat stays on the water, the more algae and all that bad stuff builds up on it. And if you didn't know, when all that stuff grows at the bottom of your boat or jet skis, it can potentially slow your vessel or jet ski down. All right, so if you are keeping it on the water without any type of float or lift, make sure that you are periodically taking it out pressure washing that bottom. I highly recommend that you bottom paint, whether it be your pontoons or your bow riders. Bottom paint your equipment so that you can keep it clean. All right? I'll see you on the next episode.